everyone. Today I decided I want to play around with the new Stephiedoll. And I kind of want to make, I'm thinking, this is my thinking process. I'm taping this as I go. I'll do it in pieces and hopefully it's going to work out since this is going to be something out of the box. I want to make her into like Little Bo Peep. And so I started by making her, well, she would be cut out this way, making her, whatever this thing, her staff, I guess. And I'm thinking bright colors. This paper pad is kind of sweet, kind of like the colors of those flowers and the red. And I just happen to have these little red bows. And I thought that would be cute to put on her staff. And then, of course, there's the sheet to stamp. That's going to be my little, you know, Little Bo Peep lost her sheep. And I'm thinking of, I'm going to have to make a bonnet for her. I have to figure out how I'm going to do that. And maybe I might adapt her dress a little bit. So anyway, stay tuned and we will see how this turns out. Okay, part 2. I think I came up with a bonnet for her. Let's see how this works. I cut her up a little bit because I've been experimenting. So far I've got the staff, which I'm thinking of doing this with the red bow. And I have these dies, which I think it's the large flower dies. And I cut the flower or the scallop, and then I used the circle to give it a loop. And I messed around a little bit with it, and then I used a shadow behind it. And I think I got myself a bonnet. And then I cut a circle because I wanted it to peek out from the back. So it'll look like something like that. And I think that's going to work okay. Now, of course, it's not going to be this. This is just scrap paper. And then the interesting thing was the leftovers after I cut all this gave me these cute little scalps, which got me thinking that maybe I can use this to use as her dress. Something like that. And then this is from the circle that I used, that I cut, because when I cut this out, I used the circle to give it the curve. So I was left with this, and I'm thinking that this could be the side of her dress, like so. And then I could give her her shoes back and her staff. And I think that's going to work. So I'm going to go ahead and pick out the colors, and I'll come back when I come up with another idea. Okay, stay tuned for part 3. Okay, part 3. Let me get the phone here right. So I made her bonnet. It's still wet, so I have to be careful it doesn't fall apart. I made a bonnet, and I also, well, before I go on to this, I switched the papers I was going to use. I pulled out the dotted paper from the Good Times collection because the dots were smaller than the one on the Best Day collection. So I thought that was better because it was too overwhelming, the dots. So I made her bonnet, which is still wet, like so. I'll cut the strings later when I assemble her. And then, again, using these 3 dies, a circle die and a large floral die with the scallop and the shadow, I'm going to make her dress. And I'm thinking, get her arms out of the way, I'm thinking that it's going to sort of look like this. I'm thinking of laying it out and like that, something like that. And I'm thinking of I was looking at some pictures on Google, and some of the Bo Peep dolls have, okay, this is, so it's going to look something like this when it's said and done, the dress. And then I'll just slip her behind here. Come on, get in there. You can do it. Like that. Oh, the pieces will move. Okay, so it'll look something like that. And then her bonnet. And then her, the glue's still wet. I should have waited to do this. Okay. Her staff. And then I could put her feet underneath. And then maybe, I don't know yet if I'm going to do this or not, but I could probably add a couple little bows to accent the dress. Right where those two puffy things come down. So it'll be something like that. So let me go ahead and stamp, color her out, and assemble her. And then I'll come back and I'll make a card, and hopefully you can see the finished product. So this was video 3. So now just stay tuned for video 4. Okay, I'm back. I colored her in. What I did was a no-line pencil coloring. I stamped with a light ink and then just went through and colored in with colored pencils in the areas that are going to be shown. I didn't do her dress because obviously that's going to be covered. I snipped her arms away from her body and the basket, and I took her little legs off because it turns out I got carried away with the dress and I made it longer, so now I'm kind of in a dilemma, but onward I go. I made her little dress like I showed before. I used the scallop flower. This piece here in the center was what was left over from the bonnet, and then this is from the circle. And then I went ahead and cut out just a little dress, the top of her dress. So that should slip in as so. And I hear the bows. So it's going to look something like that. And then her little feet, it's going to come right down to that sock line because I didn't want her to have socks. And then her little bonnet, which I still need to make a, that'll be the last thing I do is tie it. And then I have her little staff. I already went ahead and glued on the bow. And I did the little sheep. I decided to go with the larger one, and I think I'm going to tuck him behind her like this. Now, the issue I got into was that she got too big for me. So she's going to be, I'm going to probably have to do this on a 5x7 card. Yeah, 5x7. So I cut out a piece of white, which I think I'm going to, as of now, I'm thinking of maybe ink blending the back, a little background, a simple background. And from the sheep stamp set, there's a little sentiment that says, "I miss you," and I think that'll play in pretty cute with the theme of Little Bo Peep that lost her sheep. And we'll see how that turns out. I might put a little, I might put a little frame around it. This is a frames for planner. I don't know. We'll see. But that's where I am so far. So tune in for what will probably be the last video session of me putting the card together. Thank you.